The number one reason that most people end up going back to prison is because in prison, the average individual is given a baseline level of respect that they're never able to manage to garner while they're out here. That's the truth. In prison, most of you people think that you guys are these great and wonderful people because you've never been to prison, and that's great, congratulations. But most of you are actually pretty big pieces of shit. You guys only care about yourselves. You guys don't care about anything that's happening around you to the people that are around you. The small consequences of your actions and how they reverberate through the people around you. Simplest thing, right? I live with people, I'm around people rather, a lot, that one of the common things that they do is they slam that microwave constantly, all the time. And it doesn't matter, and everybody does that. It's no big deal, right? You're in your house, you use the microwave, you yank that bitch open, and you slam that motherfucker shut for whatever reason. And it doesn't matter if anyone's sleeping in your house or not, that's just considered normal behavior. In prison, if you're slamming that fucking microwave all the time, someone's gonna come talk to you. Excuse me, let me talk to you about a few things real fast. Because you slamming that microwave could easily wake other people up if it's early in the morning, just disturb people's peace if it's not early in the morning. Now, there is usually a rule. Different facilities is different. It's 9 to 9 or 10 to 10. There should be no noise from 10 p.m. till 10 a.m. And you can make any noise you want from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. But most of you motherfuckers don't pay attention to what you're doing and how you're treating the people around you. And you guys don't even have any respect for yourselves. So it's not hard to imagine that you don't have any respect for the people around you. So in prison, you're given as long as you're not a terrible piece of shit in some way or another, you're given a baseline level of respect that is handed to all people that most people are not able to garner while they're out here. That's the number one. Number two, when you're getting out, you have these ideas of everything that you want to make happen. And most likely you're coming from a very sincere place when you're thinking of these things. Then you get out here and you realize that the people that you want to have these connections with, they're not going to make it simple to have these connections with. These people that you want to build things with or for, they're not going to make it simple. They're not going to do their part. Everything that you had an idea for, if it required the cooperation of another individual, you're going to find that those individuals are not as cooperative as you thought that they would be because they don't have any need to be. They're not coming from a place they're not starting from behind the eight ball where they have had a lot of time to think about how situations went wrong. And then you're coming out and you're thinking about how we can make this great. And you've thought about this, you've read books, you've taken some classes, whatever. Those individuals are still the same individuals. A lot of people, when they get out of prison, have developed and grown and evolved so far. So when they're coming around the people that they used to be around, and those people didn't fucking evolve at all. So you're down for 5 years, you get out after 5 years, and the people that you're around, they're the same people that they were 5 years ago. You're not. So that makes it difficult. Not only that, if you're not prepared to take all the small steps, you got these big ideas, right? But you don't understand that the small steps are going to be needed taken care of. So you get out and you don't have a car, you don't have a way to get around, you don't have a job, you got to get all of these things. And if you're like me, my position, people did help me get out, but no one helped me once I was out. So I had to do everything on my own. And all the responsibilities that I had placed upon my shoulders from before I went to prison were right back on my shoulders. So having to figure out a way to not only take care of myself and move myself forward, but now I got to figure out how to help my family and move my family forward and do all those things as well. There was a moment where I went to go get this job and I went back 3 times for a fucking interview and there was a problem each time, right? But this is how serious I was to get that fucking job. And my requirements for a job were actually very low. So low that I'm not even going to fucking mention them, but to other people, they felt that I shouldn't even be asking for this much. Anyways, I was introduced to an opportunity that would give me my bare minimum of requirements for a job. So I showed up. Third time, man. Still, third time, I got turned away because there was another issue and I had to come back for an interview again. And when I went, I was dressed, as nice as I could be. And it was a nice day outside. bro, I was not aware. I didn't have like, the basic necessities. I didn't even have a fucking smartphone. So I got to, on the way back, a fucking blizzard started, and I wasn't prepared for this. It was a nice day when I left the house. Man, and I was sitting at this fucking bus stop, heated. I was fucking fuming. I was pissed. Not only was I mad because of how I had been treated, I had been turned away. Somebody who I'm a well-respected member of my community. Period. Whatever you little fucking keyboard warrior, Twitter finger motherfuckers want to think, it doesn't matter. I'm a well-respected member of my community wherever I go. So, I just come from being an extremely, well-respected person to this individual that isn't even worthy enough to have this interview with 3 times in a row. Now it's fucking a blizzard, bro, and I got a shirt and pants on and a backpack, and man, I'm pissed, and while I'm getting mad, while I'm getting angry, and all this stuff is going through my fucking head, man, I'm just fucking fuming. I was lucky, and I had a thought that changed everything for me in that very short term for the next, let's say, year and a half. Thank God. It put a lot of things in perspective for me. I'd say 2 years. As I was sitting there at that bus stop and I thought this, and I was getting mad and I was getting angry, the thought came to me that my homeboys who are doing hundreds of years and life sentences, they're not getting out. I'm out here alone. My homeboys aren't getting out. As I was sitting at that bus stop, if I went back to prison that moment for whatever reason, right? And I told them that fucking story, man, they'd be like, man, that's some dumbass shit. Because they would have gave anything to be sitting at that bus stop, waiting to try to get a job, going back again the next day, and sitting in the fucking blizzard with nothing but a shirt and jeans on. Not even jeans, I had fucking dress pants on. Man, they'd have gave anything for that opportunity. So if the only people that I really could have complained to about this, it occurred to me that they would have gave anything to be in this fucking position. Man, I calmed right down. I mean, anger wasn't even, it just went completely away. And I recognized, like, okay, I got to do whatever it takes to make this happen. So I was on the bus for a while, trying to take care of my mom, trying to take care of myself, trying to do everything at once, trying to build businesses, trying to do everything that I was doing, man. I stayed on the bus for like close to 2 years. And the bus is difficult. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to lead a life, making sure you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing while you're on parole, and you got other responsibilities as well, and you're fucking on the bus. I spent an average of 3 hours each day in transit on the bus, just going to work, the gym, parole classes and all that stuff, and then home every day. If you're not prepared to take care of those things, then when those small things come, and they inevitably will, it can be overwhelming. And if you don't have something that can ground you, like I fortunately did, that can be enough for people to say, fuck this shit, and start putting themselves in positions where they can go back. And people will say it all the time, man. If you got, I'm sure there's plenty of channels here on YouTube and other social media where guys are probably like, man, I liked it way better inside. Because there are some elements of being inside prison that are better. And I know you guys can't understand and fathom that, but most of you people out here really are pieces of shit and don't understand how your fucking actions and have consequences towards other people. So there's that part. Then, I can give you an example for me. You can also get overwhelmed because there are too many options. Too many options. And I know this sounds crazy. And I had heard other people tell me this before, and it didn't register to me that because they had gone through it, and I was like, I don't think that's gonna be an issue. Man, all I wanted was barbecue sauce. That's all I wanted was barbecue sauce. I had chicken or something. I already had the chicken, everything. I just needed barbecue sauce. And at the time, I lived right next to a Safeway, right behind it. So I go in the Safeway. I get in the barbecue section. And why are there 130 different types of fucking barbecue sauce? And so I sat there and It wasn't. It wasn't that the number of them was overwhelming. It was that I didn't know which one I wanted. I had no idea which one I wanted. That was the problem. It wasn't the number. It wasn't the volume. It wasn't the size of the options. It was that I didn't know which one I wanted. In prison, there are two barbecue sauces or one. If you're lucky, there's probably a lot of places where there's none. And so I'm sitting there, man, and I'm sitting there staring at this for a while. And I didn't know what option, I didn't know what to do. Now, thinking about it now, if I had the option to like redo it now, coming from a problem solving scenario, like thought process, I would have just bought three different kinds because it wouldn't have mattered, right? It was just that I just wanted the barbecue sauce that I wanted. I didn't want to get home and it would be one that I didn't want, that I didn't like. That would have been severely disappointing, even though it was right across the street. And so, I give you guys my word, man. I really did this. I pulled out my phone and I called my mom. Mom, she's like, hey, she's going, mom's going on about mom stuff. And I'm like, I'm at the grocery. She's like, what are you doing? I'm at the grocery store. She's like, what are you getting? And I was like, I want barbecue sauce, but there's too many options and I don't know which one I want. Which one do I want? I had to ask my mom which barbecue sauce I wanted. And she was like, okay, well, you want a good barbecue sauce. So she was like, you want one that's in a glass bottle. So look at those first. And so that helps, right? Because that made logical sense to me. Most likely, the higher end barbecue sauce, the one that's going to taste better, probably going to be in a glass, not in plastic. She was like, what kind do you want? This, and this. And then, once she asked me a couple of questions, my choices were really, really, really small. She gave me her suggestion. I went home and I thoroughly enjoyed my barbecue sauce, just so you guys know. It turned out to be a good experience. Thank God. I may never bought barbecue sauce again if it didn't. But my point is, man, it can be overwhelming because there's too many options. Not only that, you have to experience something either again or for the first time, depending on how young you were when you went in, on what your life was like before, or how long you were in. So the simplest of things are sometimes intimidating because you're not sure if you're going to be doing it correctly. And it could be the smallest thing, man. It could, for some people, I've heard, they wanted to go watch a movie, but nowadays they do this seat thing where you can choose your seat. And right then and there, they got confused. They didn't understand the seat choosing thing. I've heard so many different variations of the same type of problem. So you also have to be re-immersed and re-exposed to life in the way that it operates in your new life. That sometimes those things can be intimidating as well. Sometimes those things can be overwhelming as well. And if you don't have somebody that's there with you that can like take you through it the first time at least, then that makes it, that can make it very difficult. So there are a lot of reasons why people go back. These are the things that I'm telling you about are people that, they really want to do better. I should say, when I said the number one thing was, the respect thing, that's not actually true. I take that back. Number one is going to be drugs. People that have a drug problem, an alcohol problem, any kind of addiction problem, and they get out and they're not prepared to deal with it, and they're still not strong enough to fight against it for the rest of their life, to put it down and never pick it back up. That's probably number one. Or, they think they're strong enough and then they start putting themselves in positions to where they're being exposed to it needlessly and then eventually it breaks down, whatever the case may be. But drugs and addiction is probably going to be the number one, to be honest. The other one is going to be people that just haven't changed enough. They go right back to the same life. They go right back to the same people. And sometimes, like I said, man, these people could really, really, really mean that they want to change. But when you're around the same exact people in the same exact environment and they're all doing, like I said, you people don't evolve as fast as you think you do. Most of you guys are fucking stagnant because you go home, you go to work, you're just existing. You guys are just existing. You go to work, you go to a job, only because they tell you have to go to work. Then you do what you're told at work. Then you get off, and then you go do maybe you go to the gym, probably you don't. You watch TV, you fuck around on YouTube, you play video games, whatever your life consists of. Maybe there's a few other activities thrown in there for the most part, and then you go to bed and you repeat. So most of you people are not evolving. So when they get out and they're around the same exact people who have not evolved, who have not moved forward, then they can fall back. Some of them could mean well, but they're not strong enough. Same thing as an addiction. They're not strong enough, and so they fall right back to the same habits. A question that you didn't ask, though, that I feel like I should ask is what is the number one reason people don't go back to prison? And to be honest, I'm not sure if I even know the answer to that. I know that in your heart, you know when you're done. You know when you're done. You know it in your heart. I did 5 years, was out for 4, and then went back for 13. When I got out after the 5, I thought that just being smarter about everything that I was doing was enough. Now, when I first got out, I did have the intention of trying to do nothing but the right thing. But I knew in my heart that I wasn't done. I knew it in my heart that I had not put that down. I knew it. And so, sure enough, man, guys, it doesn't matter if you're involved in a negative lifestyle, one way or another, man, karma does come to get you. And I got bit in my ass for sure. So it always comes back. And so you have to pay the price for that. And then when I was sitting in county jail again, and I was like, all right, how in the fuck did I end up finding myself in the exact same position, but in a much worse position and in a position that I never fucking saw coming for sure? And I really had to start thinking about that, man. And I really had to be like, okay, if I do not want to die in prison, if I really have this thought process about myself, about who I am, about what I have to offer, about the impact that I want to make, all these different things, I have to start living by that now. So I started changing from that moment. Now, it wasn't this quick overnight process. There was a lot of things, there's a lot of realizations that had to happen. To give you guys an example, I was in for, a couple of years and still involved in the dope game. Selling drugs is just as viable in prison as it is out here. You just have to have either have to have money or you have to have, your reputation has to hold some water. And, my reputation was good. Man of integrity. That's how I survived. Regardless of what you guys think about me, my past, any of that stuff, I survived because I'm a man of integrity and everybody knew that. And so one day it occurred to me, if I can't stop selling drugs while I'm in prison, how in the fuck am I ever going to stop selling drugs when I get out? I had a life sentence and everybody told me I would die there, and I never felt that. I never believed it. I knew I was going to get out. But if I didn't do everything that was necessary to earn getting out while I was in there, and then also give me the tools to be successful before when I got out, then how was I ever going to expect a different fucking result? That thought hit me pretty hard. So the guy that was bringing the stuff in, he comes to me, man. He was like, hey, new shipment came in. I got you. I'm going to bring that by. Da, 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 da. Nah, bro, I can't. I thank you for the offer, but I'm good. I can't do it. And he was like, what? I was like, I'm good. I can't do it. And he was like, no, man. What the fuck are you talking about? He didn't understand. And he was like, I'm going to bring the bar. I'm going to bring this, normal, same, it's normal deal. No different, no changes, no nothing. And I was like, bro, I cannot do it. You're not listening to me. I'm good. Thank you for the offer, but I'm not going to do it. I cannot do it. Now, I explained to him what was going on in my mind, everything that I just said. I told him. The thing about it is as humans, for whatever reason, many of us have this desire to drag the other person down. And it's not always this malicious thing either. So I don't know if this guy, people do it. You guys all, most likely anybody who's watching this video right now, you've been in this position. Somebody was attempting to do something, quit smoking maybe, right? And you're a smoker, so you keep offering them a cigarette. You keep offering them a cigarette. You keep offering them a cigarette. Somebody hasn't drank in years, months, whatever it is, and you're like, oh man, you're good. You haven't, come on, let's go have a drink. Whatever it is, the smallest thing, man. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small, but people want to fucking sabotage another person. Now, what I have come to learn though is part of this is some people are trying to see if you are worthy of the respect and the admiration that you'll get for that. So they keep tempting you, keep tempting you. And the more you say no and the more you stand your ground and you never do it, man, they start to respect you for it and they start to admire you for it. And I think sometimes it's just that, but sometimes it's malicious and sometimes it's just because that's who we are as humans, unfortunately. So I don't know if this guy just really couldn't understand like how good of a position I was actually in and it just blew his mind, or if he wanted to drag me down or what the reason was. But he came back and he was like, all right, bro, listen, this is what I'm going to do. And he offered me a better deal. And I was like, bro, I can't. I'm not going to do this. And he was like, man, but I'm gonna do this, 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 and this. I'm like, bro, you're not listening to me. I appreciate it, but I'm not gonna do this. I'm done. So he leaves. And he comes back again. And he was like, an even better deal. This fool, and he's just not understanding. He's kind of getting hurt now. He's kind of getting hurt and angry. And he leaves. I mean, I don't got to worry about it. I could easily whoop his ass, so it wasn't a problem. That wasn't an issue. He comes back again. I don't know, man. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time, whichever time he comes back. This is many years ago now. He comes back and he was like, all right, man, listen, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you more than he ever gave me before. He's going to give me more of it. And he's going to give it to me for free. Just so I can sell it, so I can build up some money. So as I go into the future, I got that money so that I'm safe, I'm secure, I'm good. Bro, you're not listening to me. I appreciate the offer, but thank you. I'm not going to take the offer, though. I'm done. I'm not going to do this. Now, whether he ever, I mean, once he said it, he would have had to have done it. Reputation goes a long way. You can't be, when you're in certain levels of this game, in prison or out of prison, your word has to, be ironclad. So, and I told him, I said, no, I'm good. Thank you, bro. And he was going to give me quite a bit, and he was going to give it to me for free. And so, the amount of money that I was going to make was pretty substantial, especially in prison. And I still shut him down. I said, no, thank you. Because I had made the decision. Like, once I make a decision, for the most part, guys, my decision is fucking ironclad. It's solid. The only time I usually will, I mean, and I do it a lot, don't get me wrong. I'll make a decision and then find out that I made that decision in error. And then I will I'll have to reevaluate my decision and make a new one. That happens a lot. Don't get me wrong, especially now. I'm consistently in a new world with everything that we got going on. And so I'm like, oh, we're gonna do this, 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 and then I find some information. I'm like, okay, we're not gonna do any of that. So that happens. Or we're gonna do it different. We're gonna do it a different way. We're gonna go another route or whatever. But once I had made that decision, because I didn't want to die in prison. I do not want to die in prison. And I'd already been told that I was going to die there. And I refused to believe it. I never believed it. But I knew I was going to have to earn and be worthy of the opportunity once I was given it. To earn it, I had to be worthy of it. And then once I got it, I knew I had to have the right fucking mindset, the right tools, and I'm like, just everything. I had to be fucking solid in order to make sure that once I got the opportunity, once I proved myself worthy of it and I got it, man, that I would do the right things. You know in your heart when you're done. You know in your heart when you're done. And unfortunately, sometimes that's very difficult to give up. Everything that you knew before, you have to put all of it down. So everything that you learned in that world, or at least you think this way, it turns out a lot of the things that I learned in my previous lifestyle has helped me now and will probably continue to help me throughout the rest of my life. But all of those things, man, you think in your mind, you have to start over from scratch. And in some ways that is true. In some ways it's very true. And when I got out here, and when those people who think like me get out here, if they're in the position that I was in, I did have individuals that helped me get out. But once I got out, man, everything was on me. Everything was on me. Everything has been on me since. If you're not capable of taking this, being prepared for the small problems and overcoming them, being prepared to be intimidated by new experiences or re-experiencing old experiences in a different way. And also, man, I have a huge dream. I have a massive dream. I have things that I'm trying to make happen. And money is always an issue, right? Money, this. Money is an issue just for you to just, grocery shop, have gas in your car, take care of your kids, whatever it is. So if you're trying to start a dream, if you're trying to jumpstart a dream, money's at play as well. The easiest way that I know to make money is to go back to the streets. Now, I would never do that. I'm done. I'm retired. But knowing that now you got to do it the hard way. You have to do it the hardest way as possible. Not only do you have to do it the hard way, but you put yourself in a position where it is even extra harder for you. And you still have to go about it that same way. You have to find different ways around that are all legal. That's probably going to be the number one thing that stops people from going back is you have to develop yourself into a new person. You have to be willing to be someone different. And you have to make yourself, invulnerable, completely invulnerable to old habits and old lifestyles that you used to live and used to even appeal to you. You have to be willing to sit in a piece of shit fucking car and in a piece of shit apartment for years just to get your shit together so that hopefully you can do something with it and make a better life for yourself. But those are the reasons why people go back. Those are some of the problems that people face. And that's one of the ways that, at least that I know of, that you can try to prevent that from happening. So if anybody is out there, man, and you're watching this video and you're recently out, or you haven't been out all that long, because recently could be different. It could be a couple weeks, couple days, couple months, couple years. Or if you guys know somebody who's getting out or recently been out, just understand that these are some of the issues that are going to be at play. Anybody who's just gotten out, man, if you're watching this video, man, I did it. I did it. You can do it too. I did it. If anybody can do it, man, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So just keep that in mind, man. If you are recently out and somehow you came across this video and somehow you made it this far into the video, man, I did it. My dreams are unfolding before me. It didn't happen quickly. Wasn't easy. I still am fighting against a lot of forces. Even the people around me, I have to fight against their forces too. Some of the people that I'm around, it's not like when you pick people up after, that have been, if you're not around individuals that know what it's like to be hungry, to want more, and hell, even actually be hungry, to want more, to everybody else, man, success is plan B. To all the people that are around me, man, success is plan B. I don't get that, but to me, success is plan A. This is plan A through Z. I'm going to die trying to get this shit done. If it doesn't happen before in the next 10 years, then I'll be doing it for the next 20. Doesn't happen for the next 20 years, I'll be doing it till death. Success is not, there's no such thing as plan B when you're die hard about success. So whatever your goals are, man, don't let them fucking die. Don't put them to the side. Keep them in front of you. With everything that you're doing, make sure that you're doing it for that thing. I got out, man. I was fucking washing dishes, right? I give you my fucking word. I was washing dishes, I was doing a two-man job, but didn't understand there was a two-man job at the time. And I was killing it, right? And I didn't know that. But I was fucking getting killed back there too. I give you my word. I repeated the same mantra to myself over and over and over and over and over again for the entire 8 to 10 hours that I worked every day. All I did was repeat my mantra to myself about what my fucking goals are. And I'm doing what I gotta do. That was another one. I'm doing what I gotta do. 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 Now I'm just repeating this over and over and over again in my mind as I'm fucking washing this dishes, getting my ass fucking handed to me. I don't fucking wash dishes. I didn't have to wash dishes in prison. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't relegated to that. They put me in the fucking kitchen to wash dishes. That would never happen. When I showed up to a facility, they pulled me in. They had a conversation with me. They were like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you promise not to cause problems, we'll give you a job in the gym." I worked in the fucking gym all the time. I had a job of my choice. I didn't have to fucking wash dishes in prison. But I got out here, I sure as fuck had to wash dishes. Make sure that you're willing to make that fucking those sacrifices. Sacrifice those those pieces of your ego. And just build out here like you did in there. Whatever you did to get your respect while you were in there, man, put that same type of energy in finding your respect out here. They respect different things out here. So just fucking work hard. You don't got to stab a motherfucker. You just got to work hard. You don't got to be willing to beat somebody up. You just got to work hard. Whatever the fucking thing is, man, you just got to fucking prove that you're valuable to whatever company that you're at the time. Man, build yourself up, build yourself up, build yourself up. Don't fucking spend all your money, man. Put it to the side. Put that money to the side, man. Fuck a Gucci belt. Fuck all that shit. Man, keep your dreams at the forefront. Whatever it is that you dreamed about while you were out. Now, if it was just get out, have a family and kids, and chill and live the good life, man, and you're cool working at the job that you work in, and you have a good girl, and you want some kids with her, man, there's nothing wrong with that. That is nothing wrong with that. If that's what you dreamed of, and that's what you want, man, don't let nothing get in the way of that. Go find a simple job. Go find a good woman, man, and have some fucking kids. Don't be partying with the homies. Don't be fucking smoking weed. Don't be drinking all the time. Don't be kicking it on the curb. Don't fucking go around the hood just to see how everybody's doing. They want to see how you're doing, man. You can go meet at the coffee shop down the street or something. If they're really that serious about me seeing you again, come see me someplace where it's good. Man, you got this.